Hello, this is Woody Collins with Congo Helping Hands, and thank you all for stopping by to hear another episode of talking about Congo. I'm starting to say see and hear, see are here. So I'll be talking about that later on in the week. However, we're going to go ahead and get started because I have some exciting news that was determined over the weekend as we were getting ready to look at our plan for this coming year of 2021. And after kind of things went sideways on us in 2020, we decided that we're gonna look forward and get something started and see how it works out. So we hope that everything works out just fantastically. And one of the things is I've been talking about social business, and because I was talking about it, some of the people over in the Congo, particularly our project manager Jim and his wife Bernadette, they had asked for the book, one of Muhammad Yunus's books on social businesses. So I sent to them the first book, well, actually, it's the second book, but it's the one on a world without poverty, creating a world without poverty. So I sent that to them via Kindle. So that arrived at there, and I guess they started reading it because they put together a project that they wanted to do, and that's going to be the last time that I say project because we are now talking about a social business. So they put together a business plan, a real skeleton business plan. We need to flush it out, look at it a little bit more to see what it's going to be all about. But basically, the tenets of it is a farm for producing both uh, traditional stuff. Well, I guess you shouldn't say traditional stuff because a farm, you have animals on a farm and you also have growing stuff on a farm. And this farm will be doing both. It will be growing pigs, it will be growing cows, and probably some goats. Then it also will be growing food such as corn, cassava, which is one of their big staples, and also onions and tomatoes and stuff like this. So, as I was talking last week, we wanted to do something like this, and but I had not thought that Jim was in a position ready to get his farm started. So I have visited it, which is one of the things that was hindering me from saying yay or nay about a farm from last week that we had thought about. Uh, but I've been out to this farm. It's a distance from Kananga, south of Kananga, but it has some beautiful terrain and beautiful situation. It has a water source, a river that runs through it, so you will have water to uh, irrigate crops if needed be. But in the Congo, they basically plant based upon the two rainy seasons and the two dry seasons. They plant at the end of the rainy season and they harvest at the before the next rainy season starts back. And they're pretty much evenly spread out. One is a little shorter than the other one. So, but even it has a water source. It's near D, and I would say D in parentheses, D uh, railroad that comes from Lubumbashi up to Kananga and goes back from Kananga back down to Lubumbashi. So therefore, it is on a rail line, the rail line. So that would make it good for maybe using, hauling produce, getting equipment there, bringing the produce, and also anything up from the farm into the city of Kananga or down to Lubumbashi. So it's ideally situated. So we'll have to, that's a good thing because as I've always said, in the Congo, transportation is a problem. Transportation is a problem. So by being on a railroad, that gives you not only vehicular transportation, but it also has the potential for the train, even though the train runs infrequently, maybe once every 2 weeks to 10 days or somewhere in that neighborhood that I remember being there. So, as I said, I've been there, saw it, walked through the land, looked at it. So it's a good piece of property and it's owned by our current project manager. And he had been mentioning that this is what he wanted to do. And so we have a lot of assets. So some of the things that we had thought about of how you're going to acquire the land, how you're going to, blah, 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 all that. Some of that seems to be closer at hand because this project would be, someone that we know and someone that we can look that I've worked with for about 15 years or more, and that I know has a good sense of business and will be just an outstanding project to implement. And finally, one of the things that I'm looking at is because it has the components of pigs, cows, goats, different farming and everything, it's pretty much that you can start each one of those different projects individually, and so it doesn't require a whole bunch of money to get started. You can start off with buying 4 or 5 pigs and get started and get and work yourself up to bigger and better things and keep reinvesting the money into it so that it becomes bigger and better. And it also, as I was saying, by doing that, it allows you to be flexible and be able to work uh, different angles, also to give you the flexibility to try different things without putting all your eggs into one basket. So I'm excited about that, and you'll be hearing a lot about it. And the name of the project, the farm, is going to be Kashiko. So I think that's the way you would pronounce it in the Chaluba language. Is so we will start. I will get the correct pronunciation, but based on my knowledge of Chaluba, that is it. It is Kachi Oko, Shachikoko. So we will start saying that and get that rolling off my tongue so that it would just become uh, a common word. And also we'll be letting you know on how this is going to be working and how it's going to be going and how the progress of how we do it. And, I'm just excited that we're going to get this started. So thank you all for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments on this project, on other projects, please let me know. We're going to be working through the details. We only have some skeleton uh, 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 items now that we to work with. There's a lot of questions to be answered, a lot of things to be worked out, but we think it will be something worthwhile starting and it meets all of our requirements that number one, it's a small project to get started and I've seen it and so we're going to be working from there. So thank you all, and we will talk with you tomorrow. So take care and be good and get that pandemic under control.